Hi everyone. Today is a great day for we're capturing a moment in time. We're filming our first podcast on Into the Dark Infusion, a platform that is mainly set to bring about enlightenment, information, and laughter, and maybe sometimes some tears. But overall, we want people to be informed, and in the day and age where there's so much information overload, my intention is to bring information that is researched or brought from the perspective of somebody that's actually living in it, or my experience. But that's what it is today. And today's guest, and very first guest on the first episode of the platform, which I am honored to have. Number one, the prime numbers. This is the one and only mother extraordinaire, single mother of three extraordinaire, and the one who is so spiritually inclined and who inspires me to keep pushing forward just by seeing her determination, being a single mother of three, and not just three, they're boys. And then not just boys, we're also going to get into the topic, but it's Raquel, aka Empress.
The Empriestess.
Okay, it's the Empriestess.
Yes.
I should have got that right. Empriestess.
That's all right.
And that's her at handles Empriestess. So I'll make sure I put it down on a watermark somewhere below.
Yeah.
And when we get there, but welcome.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Hello. Hello, world.
Hello out there.
The vibes is here. Do. Okay, back to being serious. All right. So, yeah, Into the Dark Infusion. Yeah, that's what it's about. Going into a dark place and bringing some light about.
That's right.
And perspective.
That's right.
And that's just be open-minded, and we're not here to put out anything negative. It's just strictly information and guidance and understanding too, creating understanding.
Yeah.
And helping people understand that the world is a lot smaller than we think. The world is a lot bigger than we think.
Yeah.
But we can become small-minded is what I was getting at. And perspective is important. So that's where it is, right? Today is about perspective, and the topic that we're going to touch on may be sensitive. I know it's sensitive to you.
Sometimes, yeah.
Can be, and I know it's dear to my heart. But today's topic is autism. But in Pato we say autism. But yeah, with an H. Where'd that come from?
Yes,
It's a A. It's as a vowel, but there's an H. Anyways, autism is the topic of the day, and we're not gonna delay. We're gonna get right into it, and hopefully, you'll learn, and I trust that I'm gonna learn, and yeah, let's get into it. No delays. And again, welcome.
Thank you.
And thank you for being here today.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
It's a privilege.
It's an honor for me to be the first guest. I've been wanting to do something like this for a really long time, so it's just everything happens for a reason. That me and you just had a conversation and it came up, and I'm like, wow. And it's funny because I wanted to do it on my own, and it's like, and we can get into that because I always have this habit of always wanting to do things on my own, and I feel like, you know, the Most High has been trying to show me that I need to be open to teamwork.
100%.
And I think us having that conversation where you brought this to me, and it's like almost like you were reading my mind. So you see how the Most High works.
It's out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? It's out there.
Exactly.
Connecting.
Brought me somebody that I can work with, who knows all the technical stuff that I'm not that great at. If you guys saw the setup, I was like shocked. I thought it was going to be something else, but this is awesome, and I appreciate you, bro.
Same. Love. You know what it is. It's love.
Yeah.
We're not going to get in today because time is of the essence.
Of course.
And we're going to be considerate of your time, and also I'm considerate of your time more than so than mine, because
everyone's time matters. Yeah.
That's true. 100%.
Yeah.
So let's get into it.
Okay.
Today's topic, autism. First question, what is autism? If you don't know. What is your what's your view on that?
So to be honest with you, autism to me is a day-to-day lifestyle that I live. When my son was diagnosed, which is back in 2017, he hadn't even reached 2 yet. He had just turned 1. And how they explained it to me is it's a disorder. That's their words. It's a disorder that is measured on a spectrum based on behavior and development. And that was my explanation at the time of his diagnosis. They told me that in terms of development, he was moderate, and in terms of behavioral, he was severe. And that was mostly based on his ability to self-regulate. So we all do this. Self-regulation doesn't have anything to do with being on the autism spectrum. It is a skill that most of us develop over time, either based on how your parents soothe you, and then you learn how to soothe yourselves, self-soothing and stuff like that. Self-regulation is just your way of managing your emotions, and he has a harder time doing this than most because of the way that he processes things mentally. So it doesn't necessarily mean that because a lot of people who, I think it's becoming more like, people are becoming more aware now, especially with social media. But back in the day, like back when I was a child growing up, autism was considered, like, there was a stigma around it that it meant that somebody was slow, or somebody was the R word, which we don't use anymore, which is retarded, or something like that. And that's definitely not it. Most autistic people are actually extremely intelligent. If any of you guys have ever watched, the first time as a youngster that I actually was introduced to how intelligent autistic people was when I watched the movie Rain Man. You ever watched the movie Rain Man?
A long time ago, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot the actor's name in it, but it was about a guy whose older brother was autistic, and he was really good with numbers. He had a photographic memory, and that kind of reminds me of my son Ian, because he memorizes things. He's got a great memory. It's more so just the way that he feels things, the way that he processes things. So that's what autism means to me. And so I try to build his life around that, not hindering him, but taking that into consideration when dealing with him and having others deal with him. Yeah.
Wow. I don't think it gets more specific than that.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
That's your, because it's also part of your now lived experience.
Lived experience, exactly.
And so it's actually based. It's not theory. It's the practical.
Yeah, it's observation and experience. Yeah.
Whoa. And you know the thing is with autism, I was looking at the diagnosis, and they're saying that boys are more likely to be diagnosed with autism more frequently than girls.
Correct.
And with an estimate of 4-to-1 ratio.
Right.
Which, nope, I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
You know, that's, and like what's the cause? And it even says that recent research suggests that autism in girls is underdiagnosed due to different symptom presentation.
Exactly.
And diagnostic biases.
Exactly.
Which is another part of it that's probably a little concerning if they're missing these things.
Yeah. Yeah, because boys are usually more rambunctious, more vocal,
right,
more hyper. So if a boy is more quiet into himself, that's gonna send a red flag. Which Ian, as a baby, he obviously spoke when he wanted to, but for the most part, he preferred to observe and listen. And the most he would do, and he'd love to rock back and forth. In fact, the first person to notice was Mommy.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, he was like 5 or 6 months, and constantly rocking. And I said to her, well, that's just the way he soothes himself, because he's my second child. And just to give you guys a bit of background, like, my children are 2 years or less apart. So in terms of my first and my second, which is Ian, who's the one on the spectrum, they're less than 2 years apart. So I was basically raising 2 babies and in survival mode. So thank God, and this is why I do thank God for having being surrounded by family. Because when he was first born, I was not living near family. I was living all the way out in Vaughan. We're originally from Scarborough.
Right.
But after having the second baby and needing that support, the support of my mother, the support of my sisters, even my father, like, I decided to move back. And yeah, it was my mom that picked up on it, because she was on the outside looking in, and obviously a mother of 3 herself, and then plus her bonus children, right? So she is familiar with child development, and she noticed it, and the family doctors said that he was too young to be diagnosed. There are so many other aspects that play into it. Repetitive behavior is something that babies do in general, but our mother she refused to let that be it, and she firmly encouraged me.
That's good.
To get a second opinion, which really I did, and that is when, so I had a general family doctor. I had to refer me to a pediatrician, and that pediatrician took into consideration my my observations of him, and then they referred him to a pediatric what do you call it?
Specialist?
Developmental specialist.
Okay.
A pediatric developmental specialist at Holland Bloorview. So that's where he was diagnosed. Here in Toronto.
Though it's, you know what? Again, the divine ordinance. Mother is there to help you catch that.
Right.
Because culturally, we don't know much about that.
Right.
But it was good that it was able to get picked up on. That way, you were able to get the help.
Yeah.
That you actually did need.
And she didn't necessarily know what it was.
Right.
It's just that she's very much a person that follows her gut. And if something doesn't seem right, even if she can't put her finger on it, she wants to get to the bottom of it. So I appreciate that, because I've now learned to tap into my intuition more because of that.
And go with
because 9 times out of 10,
you're right.
She's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
And then not to go off topic, but the same thing. Like, the other thing was, like, what causes autism? That's the other thing. Like, what is the cause? I know you have your side of it, but then when I was looking it up, it says it tends to run in families, indicating that certain genes increase the risk, and then there's which that was inherited genes, and then spontaneous mutation. Sometimes genetic changes, mutation occur in the sperm or egg, and are not inherited. That's what they're saying here. Multiple genes. No single autism gene causes it. Rather, many genes may contribute in small ways. And then there's also the environmental factor. Where you are, where you live, it could be anything.
What you're eating.
Diet. Low birth weight, premature birth, lack of oxygen or birth, and then it can be stress. It can be relationships. It can be air pollution. Obviously, we did touch on diet. It can be a number of things. But I wanted to, when you were carrying Ian, were you going through something different than the other two, or did you feel something different during the pregnancy?
Yes.
That's a big question I had.
Yes. So when he was diagnosed, the first thing that popped into my mind was, because they asked me a bunch of questions about my pregnancy, just like what you're asking right now. And one of the questions was stress. And to be honest with you, that was the most stressful pregnancy, not the pregnancy itself, but the dynamics of my life at that time.
Right.
Because I'm pregnant with my second child. At the time, I am married. And I'm married to a man that was going through a financial hardship, which obviously put a strain on our relationship, because our relationship had reached a point where I was making more, which kind of made me the breadwinner. There was also the factor of it being so difficult to find affordable housing here. I ended up moving out to the west, to Vaughan, where we could find like, and also to luckily, and I'm just going to touch on this briefly because we all know, and I'm not going to speak on a specific group in general, but we all know that there are certain prejudices when it comes to renting.
Yeah. And
we also know that it is difficult for somebody with low income to afford an apartment in a building. Mm-hmm. So I was more focusing on basement apartments. And a lot of basement apartments are owned by people that don't want to rent out to other types of people.
Yeah.
And so it was very difficult, whether it was the owners living upstairs or just the owners speaking to me on the phone, because I am able to, like, you know, talk on the phone as if like I'm a person of a certain ethnicity because of the line of work that I do in customer service.
Right.
So when they spoke to me on the phone, they weren't aware of the type of person they were speaking to until we met.
Right.
And a lot of the times, the place had already been rented out after they've met me.
Yeah.
So I struggled to find housing.
Right.
And obviously, as a married person with a child, nobody wants to live with their parents. They want their own place. Right. So we ended up in Vaughan. Luckily, we found somebody like us who gave us a place to stay. But my life has always been in Scarborough. My job was in Scarborough.
Right.
So I was commuting from Vaughan to Scarborough every day for work.
Right.
Pregnant. And I also, my younger son, at the time, I couldn't find daycare for him.
My goodness. That's a lot.
Yeah, so I had to find a sitter. I'm not somebody that easily trusts people. Found someone, and there was just a lot on my shoulders in that aspect. Mm-hmm. And once again, found myself in survival mode. Again, financial issues is one of the main causes, aside from fidelity, that causes the breakdown in relationships and marriages. And that was something that I feel like caused a breakdown, because I was tired, and at the time, my partner at the time, my husband at the time, found himself in a situation where it was difficult for him to make the amount that he wanted to make based on the opportunities that were available to him at that time.
And probably his experience.
Right. So
that was contributed to the...
And I don't know any man that is used to being hardworking and used to making a certain amount, and then that changes. I don't know any man that's mood wouldn't change by that.
No, definitely a factor.
Yeah, so...
It'll impact the relationship. And then, ergo, your well-being.
Right. Because society in general, especially where he comes from, because he's a countryman, it's like the men work and the women take care of the children. But you move from one demographic to another where often both people have to work.
Yeah.
And it's overlooked the amount of stress that puts on the woman because she's doing double the work.
Right.
Because taking care of the children in itself is work.
100%.
So we're both working full time, but I'm taking care of the children because you come home and relax. That, and not being able to see eye to eye on that. Because it's just not the way you were raised.
Right.
And that's another thing too, like, that's one thing that I learned. I'm glad to be someone who has been married and divorced, not to get off topic, but because it's given me perspective on a lot of things that are overlooked in the name of love and romance. Like the people's beliefs.
Right.
Their belief systems. Ours were similar, but there were some key points that were off.
Right.
Like that. Because growing up, my dad helped with the kids. He didn't just work.
I remember that.
So that's what I was expecting from my husband.
Right. And
he grew up differently. So yeah, all of those things, I was very stressed. I was very stressed, and what added to that stress too is just feeling like I wasn't being heard. I wasn't being considered. I was just expected. And then I went into survival mode, and I didn't even realize how much stress I was under because I was just too busy trying to survive and make it through the pregnancy.
That's a lot.
And that's one of the things that they brought up is like, okay, stress could be a factor, and I had to say, and I just remember people telling me all the time, like, don't stress. Yeah. It's not good to stress when you're pregnant. Right. And your mind's my mind played tricks on me. I just kept myself so busy that I thought I wasn't stressed, but looking back in retrospect, definitely my most stressful pregnancy.
Wow.
So I think that has a factor to do with it for sure.
Did you okay, like internally, did you feel different? Did he feel different
than my other pregnancies?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
He was very active. I was even on the phone with one of my friends the other day. His behavior inside was very similar to his behavior outside, where he's very squeamish, very active. He had trouble and still sometimes has trouble staying still. Mm-hmm. And he was, as long as he was awake, in my mind, because you can't really see the baby inside of you, but as long as he was awake, he was always moving, always active. And the bigger he got, the more uncomfortable it was for me, because he was like stretching out. Like it, I said to my friend one time as a joke, like it felt like he was literally trying to break free. Like he was trying to like dig his way out of my stomach. Like, and my stomach would get deformed. And like a lot of babies do this, but this is my first time experiencing it. And to be honest with you, my other two kids were more calm than he was.
Right.
Yeah. So
wow.
I did notice that I had trouble sleeping sometimes. Yeah.
Because he was so active.
Yes. And like even the labor. Mm-hmm. When my first son, I was induced. With him, I was scheduled to be induced, and on the day of my induction, 6:30 in the morning, I started getting contractions. My induction time was 8 in the morning. Mm-hmm. I got to the hospital at 8. By the time 8 o'clock, I'm at the hospital. I'm telling them that I'm in active labor, mm-hmm. and they're not believing me, because that's what nurses and they do, because they feel like they know better than the mother, because they are trained, even though it's my body. And they insisted that they monitored me for an hour.
No slight on the nurses, because I know some nurses. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. So do I.
Yeah. So.
But there are different kinds of nurses.
Yeah, no, that's
there are different kinds of, just like there's different. Not all nurses are like this.
Yeah.
But there's always that one.
Yeah.
And I just happened to get that one today, or that day.
Yeah.
And so yeah, they monitored me, and the reason why they monitored. Okay, let's be fair. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but they measure active labor with consistency of contractions, and my contractions were still sporadic, mm-hmm. but they were painful enough, and the pressure I was feeling let me know the baby was coming down.
Wow.
But the sporadic contractions wouldn't show them that. But anyways, they monitored me for an hour. I went along with it. My main concern was I was afraid to give natural birth, and that's another topic for another day. Mm-hmm. I was afraid to give natural birth, and I wanted an epidural, and so that's the reason why I didn't want to wait, and they made me wait. And long story short, after monitoring me for an hour, they brought me into a delivery room, started turning on the lights over the table that they put down the baby on, because I went from 3.5 centimeters mm-hmm. to 8.5 centimeters in 1 hour.
Holy.
For anybody who knows, that's really fast for labor. So I was only in labor for 4 hours with him. And I barely pushed twice and he was out. Like, he was gunning out. And he's super fast now, by the way. I feel like he's gonna I think he's gonna be a runner, because he's really fast. Especially because he's a toe walker. We'll get on to that topic too. Yeah. So yeah, that was that whole experience. I don't want to call it traumatic, but it was unexpected, uh-huh. and it was traumatic in the sense that I was not prepared.
Right.
And the reason I'm not prepared is because honestly, I don't think that happens very often. And I would be interested to look into if this is more common with kids on the spectrum when it comes to, because like 4-hour labor, mm-hmm. I don't know. Yeah, that's a topic for another day. Yeah, but so that was the main difference between him and his brothers. He doesn't waste no time, and he wants things done now.
ASAP.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That was the heavy part of the opening topic.
Yeah.
That's because again, it's enlightening to know that there are certain variables that will impact and be a cause, and what it looks like. You've given us some insight to what it looks like,
mm-hmm.
and how it can come to be. Just even the pregnancy, like you're saying, the way he was inside is the same way he's outside,
yep.
and it's
and the same way he came into the world.
It's definitely wow, 4 hours.
Yeah.
I don't
From
know
beginning
that.
to start.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I was in labor before and I didn't know because I couldn't feel the contractions.
Right.
But I woke up to contractions at 6:30. He was born 10:26.
That's crazy.
So less than 4 hours actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
But he's gonna be a runner.
Yeah, I think so. And a boss.
Yeah.
He's multi-talented. If I'm gonna be completely honest.
We're gonna get into that.